cohosts. You're listening to the Why So Serious show.
And now, stand up and make some noise
For your cast of the Why So Serious show on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
It is Saturday, and it is time for the Why So Serious show. I'm Jesse Morrison, alongside Matt Kling and Max Bechtold. And guess what it is? It is a wild card Saturday. We're recording this on Thursday, by the way.
It is Super Wild Card Weekend.
Super wild card weekend. Football. Come on, Max.
The Washington football team.
Football team. Football team. Football team. Football team. Football team. Football team.
When your franchise is actually good, you don't brag about making the playoffs. Just happens.
How many Super Bowls do you guys have in your history?
One.
How many Super Bowls does the Washington football team have?
I don't know. How many playoffs have you made in the last 4 years?
Doesn't matter. How many championships do we have?
Oh, so you're one of those people that counts championships from way before you were born.
Yeah, I mean, still championship.
I mean, you've heard the story that he texted me about winning 3 championships the night the Eagles won the first. So
3 championships.
Terrible thing to do.
3 Super Bowls.
Speaking
Not
of
even to
terrible-
mention the amount of NFL championships we had before Super Bowls were.
Speaking of terrible, there's a minute 44 left in this overtime, and the first basket of overtime just got scored.
In which,
it's this
what
big,
are you watching here?
Indiana.
of course.
Wisconsin, Indiana. So
Well, if you're wondering what I'm watching while we're taping this, I have the Sixers and Nets on. The Nets it's, I guess, 70s throwback night. The Nets jerseys are so nice, and the court is as nice as the jerseys.
Okay, am I the only one that cares about this product? Like, we got people that don't want to do the show in general, and we got 2 people. Right now, 3 people are doing this show. 2 of them are watching a sporting event. What do I have to do here? Like, literally, what do I have to do here?
it went to overtime. It's not my fault it went to overtime.
I just have this on as a visual. I'm 100% invested in the show, but first of all, you have to understand, you woke me up to do this show. So
I'm
not.
I've got a lot prepared for the show.
I am not blaming myself for that. I am blaming your job, Kling, for making you work the graveyard shift.
hey, I don't mind the graveyard shift, and I don't mind sleeping during the day. And actually, I was not asleep. I had just woken up a little bit before.
I don't see what the problem is here. Then what is the problem here? I'm very confused.
What's the point? Am I not allowed to have the TV on while I'm on my couch?
No, I've done it too, but we got the Pringles. We got.
Okay, this is my breakfast. Like,
who eats Pringles for breakfast?
I kind of want to know.
it's
That's going on the poll. Do you eat Pringles for breakfast?
It's a great breakfast.
Also, the Pringles can guy is a little creepy.
Okay.
I do agree with that.
Also, Pringles are just overrated in general.
Hey.
It's a little. What is it? Like, is that just an egg with a mustache?
John Oliver did some investigative journalism on it. Go on YouTube and find out.
Yeah, what does the bottom half of his body look like, too? I don't eat Pringles for breakfast. Also, original Pringles are terrible. There's so many better types of.
That's sour cream and onion, first of all, and original are the only ones that I'll eat. So.
What? Like, you could go for like. It is the bottom rung of potato chips. Let me tell you.
Flavored potato chips, I literally will not put one in my mouth.
Not even barbecue?
Nope.
What about wait? Cheddar?
Nope.
What about kettle? Just like kettle cooked regular potato chips? Because like
yeah,
the Cape Cod chips are Cape Cod chips.
Kettle chips are different than flavored.
Man, I can't believe you don't like flavored potato chips?
No.
Like boring potato chip. Like there's a reason why Chex Mix came up with the boring potato chip decoy bag because
I don't think potato chips are that good either. I don't like potato chips that much.
I like a good potato chip, but the original Lay's potato chips just make me just have to drink water for the entire rest of the day. But
I don't eat regular potato chips either, but if you gave me a choice of all the potato chips in the world, I'd eat regular potato chips.
do we want to keep this conversation going, or do we want to move on to NFL
Football.
Super Wild football?
Hey, potato chips are a good snack to eat while watching football.
Yes, they're a very good snack. But
so retransitioning back into football and the Washington football team and the Los Angeles Rams. But the first game of the day is the Colts and Bills. And
that is an extremely intriguing matchup. Let me tell you, Colts could make a sneaky run to the Super Bowl.
Do you know why?
Defense, they got a good. What'd you say?
Do you know why they could make a sneaky run to the Super Bowl?
I was getting there. I said good defense, great running game. Jonathan Taylor.
Third in rushing yards as a rookie in the NFL.
It would be a good story to see Phillip Rivers.
The Colts, Browns, Bills are like my three teams. If the Rams didn't win, I'd want to win. Those three are.
I think Jared Goff's going to play.
I don't know. I think both are going to play. I think both quarterbacks will play.
People don't like him in Rams Nation. So would you rather have Wolford?
I'd rather have both of them play. I think they bring different skill sets.
I hate that. And if the Washington football team, if Alex Smith is,
I hate it when they have the same skill set. They're completely different players. I like McVay got a lot more creative with Wolford in there. If he can design some design runs for him, if he can get some deep balls, get him moving out of the pocket, I'd love to see him take 10, 15 snaps.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So I went to the Fiesta Bowl this weekend. I covered the Fiesta Bowl. It was awesome. 50th anniversary Fiesta Bowl. I met the one and the only Mike Golick. Shameless plug. But Oregon decided to just do this quarterback switcheroo thing.
Yeah, and 13 looked great. They should have kept him in.
They took both quarterbacks out of their rhythm at some point in the game.
But 13 led them right down the field that time when he came in. I was like, oh wow, who's this guy? Why wasn't he playing before?
Yeah, but I thought Shuck was good though. Shuck's first drive, he was 3 for 3, and then they took him out. I don't understand it. I don't like, especially in the NFL. You think
they have different skill sets though. That's the problem with the Oregon quarterbacks is they really didn't have that different of a skill set. Wolford and Goff are completely different players. You just throw some packages in for Wolford. It's not like I want him to run a full drive, but if he runs 2 or 3 plays in a row, you run some read option. Because that's the problem is Goff probably the last true just stand in the pocket and not move quarterback to get drafted high. And so, you know what? If you got a guy who can move, run, get out of the pocket, give a different dimension, give something else for the Seahawks to worry about, why wouldn't you?
You forgot a very important first round statue of the 2019 NFL draft. Dwayne Haskins, no longer in the league.
He's way more mobile than Goff. Yes, way more mobile than Goff.
Watch Dwayne Haskins play.
I could beat Goff in a foot race. Have you ever seen Goff move?
Have you seen Haskins move?
Haskins actually ran in college, though. He's not fast for the NFL because he doesn't know how to run, but Goff is just can't move. I mean, and so
I guess Carson Wentz.
By the way, never forget when Stephen A. Smith said that he didn't like that Dwayne Haskins was too much of a runner coming into the draft. It's an actual thing he said.
You know what that proves to you? That none of these people watch this stuff.
Yep.
It proves that they.
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz can run.
Yeah, Carson Wentz can run. Yeah. Okay. I was making
sure. He could run until they hit him in the leg with a.
Yeah. Carson Wentz, look, when he runs, it scares me. That's all I'm going to say.
So, I mean, you shouldn't be scared. I mean, you should be scared for him in general, but not for
scared for a
franchise, because he's probably going to be with Frank Reich in Indianapolis next year.
And I will fully support that move, and I would believe that the Colts would be one step closer to being a Super Bowl contender with that move. And I mean, look, they might win this weekend or today when the show is posted, because just remember the Buffalo Bills choked last year in the wild card round at Houston. You know, they were playing great football, both sides of the ball, and then they just fell asleep. And then the Texans come back and they won in overtime.
Deshaun Watson had such an insane season for them being that bad. It was
no.
Deshaun Watson was one of the best players in football. He was the top 3 player in football this year. Deshaun
Yes,
Watson.
really good.
No one will say that because they were so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Bieniemy basically has his choice of where he wants to go right now. But if I was him, I might go for that Texans job. But it's kind of a dysfunctional franchise.
Deshaun Watson's gonna demand a trade.
That's true. But what if they bring in Bieniemy? That might be
he still will. Who's his offense line? They don't have any draft picks. They can't restock.
Yeah, I mean,
Trade
the Chargers
would
job is the best job for Bieniemy.
I would gladly take Deshaun Watson on the Eagles. Trade Wentz for Watson.
That would be so Texans.
Yeah.
That'd be really Texans. Like, we might as well just rehire Bill O'Brien if you're going to do that.
Oh,
The ghost of Bill O'Brien still exists in that Texans organization.
Does every new Texans coach and you know, GM or whatever player have to be haunted by the 3 different ghosts of Bill O'Brien every, you know?
Is Romeo Crennel going to come back as an assistant coach and just wind up being the head coach?
They might as well just hire Romeo Crennel. Like, what does he want to coach at 73 years old still? Like, what does he want to do?
Look, hey, I don't know. I guess he doesn't want to coach a bad team. You remember he was the Browns coach for a few years? We'll get to the Browns in a second and their coach. But
Chiefs coach, right?
What's that?
Chiefs coach, right?
Yeah, Crennel was the Browns head coach.
He's coach, though, too.
What are you saying? I can't understand you.
Romeo Crennel was the Chiefs coach.
Yes, that's Okay, now you're. I think he was both. I gotta look this.
I don't know. It might be a Wade Phillips situation where you forget that he was a head coach in the late '90s, as well as being the Cowboys head coach.
I don't know why I'm defaulting to think he was the Browns head coach.
He was. I think
he was the Browns head coach.
Yeah, he was Browns.
And he was so after he left the Browns, he had a gap year, went to the Chiefs as the defensive coordinator. They fired their coach. He was the interim coach and then was the head coach for 1 year. And then Andy Reid came in, and nothing's been the same since.
Yeah. He was actually kind of had some success in Cleveland, you know, lasting 4 seasons in Cleveland is.
Was he there the Derek Anderson year? The year where Derek Anderson had a really solid year and they
almost made the playoffs. Yeah, they almost made the playoffs that year. And yeah, that he
2005 to 2008.
Yeah, he lasted 4 years with the Browns. That's one of the biggest achievements in football history. But
10-6 2007 is what you're talking about.
But so here are the coaching openings we have right now. And I wanted to make a quick point. If you noticed, which is just proof of the racism that still exists in the NFL. If you noticed, somebody posted this on Twitter, but the Jags and the Jets, they mutually parted ways or whatever just parted ways with their head coaches, Marone and Gase. And then Lynn was fired. So, you know,
that's just
it at least begs the question of why was that?
First of all, that was bad, very bad optics. It's just very bad optics. You know, just play the "What are we doing" sound for that.
The NFL tries and fails so much at optics. Like they can't figure it out. It's just I don't understand it. But yeah, I'll play the "What Are We Doing" sound.
Yeah.
Are we doing it?
But here are our openings right now. These were the 3 Black Monday situations: Jags, Jets, Chargers, and then previously fired coaches were the Texans, Lions, and the Falcons. So, in my opinion, the best jobs, if Deshaun Watson does indeed stay, for
Houston.
Bieniemy, because I don't really care about where anybody. I think it's funny that Marvin Lewis is being considered for the Jets job, but I also kind of like it because he would bring in culture and, the
I
Jets
think
don't.
he deserves another shot. I'm not sure the Jets are where he should go, but I think he deserves another shot.
Yeah, I also don't think that. I also don't think the Jets should go out there and hire some flashy, coordinator, because they tried that and it really failed. Even though Gase,
Well, Gabe was the head coach of
labeled.
the Dolphins, just remember.
Yeah, they hired an unsuccessful head coach. That's what the Jets did the last
They-
time.
The
Yeah,
playoffs.
he was also like before the Dolphins, like a flashy coordinator. And
Just because he designed a bunch of like 3-yard slants for Peyton Manning.
yeah, with Wes Welker running around out there. But yeah, I think, and I'm honestly kind of intrigued by the Lions' job for Bieniemy, because I think Stafford and finally getting a good coach would be insane. As I think Stafford has so much untapped talent.
I think the Lions are the 3rd best job behind the Chargers are obviously the best. I think we can probably all agree on that. And then I think the Jaguars is the 2nd best. Jaguars have 2 first-rounders this year, 2 second-rounders this year. I believe they have 2 first-rounders next year, and they have the number 1 overall pick. And they have the most cap room out of any of these teams. I think they're probably the 2nd best job.
What's the deal with Urban Meyer? Like, is he going to be an head coach?
He wants Gruden money, apparently. He wants Gruden money and Gruden contracts. Basically.
Here's my thing with Urban Meyer.
Which anybody would be dumb to give him because he leaves every job after like 6 years.
Here's my thing with Urban Meyer. I have a sneaky suspicion that he doesn't want to coach right now unless they give him that amount of money because of his health and the pandemic. And I think that's actually something that I might have heard. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think he really wants to coach in this environment. But he does go in person to the studio at Fox. So
That's in Los Angeles, and there's a football team in Los Angeles. There's 2 football teams. One that made the playoffs, and the other one that has head coaching vacancy.
yeah, but he doesn't live there. I think he just flies in every.
And one college team that would fire their coach in a second if he said, "Yeah, I'll come and coach you."
Yeah.
Probably 2 college teams, honestly.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably 2, but definitely the one. Definitely
I
USC.
know we've sidetracked off the playoff talk, but can we talk about Steve Sarkisian going to the Longhorns?
I love it.
I love it too. I think it's a good hire. I think he's a good coach. I think
Great coach.
I think he'll be, he didn't have that much success as a head coach, but that was also when he was dealing with some personal issues.
But here's my thing: you say he doesn't have that much success as a head coach. Look at what Washington was before he went, and he kind of set the tee up
That
for
was the Chris Peterson thing, though.
He set the tee up, though. Chris Peterson came right in and had success because Washington went 9-3 or something in Sarkisian's last year.
Here's my thing, though: Texas fires good coaches too quickly.
I would not want to take the Texas job. I would not want to take that job.
Charlie Strong, very good coach, fired too soon. Tom Herman went 7-3 this year. What else do you want?
They've got a problem with expectations. Texas does.
Yeah.
They're literally Notre Dame South, but they don't get as much.
They are.
I was gonna say Nebraska South, but
No. They're
Notre
not
Dame's
that bad. They're not that bad yet, but they don't get the respect that.
but I'm talking about they're that bad in that they have way too high of expectations for their program.
Yes,
I
true.
don't think Notre Dame does. Notre Dame's made the playoff twice in the last 4 years.
But undeservedly so.
That's not true.
Stop talking about Notre Dame. They're a
Clemson didn't deserve it either. Then
okay, but Bama, Ohio State, who wins and why?
Bama, because they're unbeatable.
I don't think that's. You know what? I like teams with heart, and while I think that Alabama has heart, actually, I'm not allowed to say this because I am calling the game.
Yeah, Ohio State have 40 players available. Apparently, they're thinking about canceling, or they're thinking about delaying it because they might literally not have the minimum amount of players you need. That was the last rumor that came out.
Here's what I'll say.
I think problems all year with it.
Here's what I say. Here's what I'll say. I think Ohio State and Alabama have a very good shot at winning this game.
Yeah.
I think it'll be closer. I think it'll be closer.
See what I did there, Dano?
Likes to say closer than the experts think. I think that's the truth.
If
They can
we're
both
going
they can
to,
both perform.
I want that. If they're going to delay that game, put that game on Friday night because I do not want to be watching that game on my tablet or phone while I'm watching The Bachelor on Monday night.
I'm just gonna watch The Bachelor the next day because make sure to check out on Monday night on Blaze Radio, BlazeRadioOnline.com. Alex Coyle, myself, we will have the call for the national championship.
Is The Bachelor on after it?
On the West Coast, I mean, the game starts at like 5:30.
I mean, they're not on the same channel, so it's
Yeah, but ESPN and ABC would be putting them up against each other. Seems
They've done it. They do this every year. First of all, I'm
yeah,
going to
they
rant.
actually do. Yeah, they do this every year.
I'm sorry, Jesse. I'm going to go on a little rant. College football should not be putting their national championship game on Monday night. Like, no offense, it's a great time slot, but you're not. But ESPN is so selfish that they want the ratings for all their cable channels and not the biggest network that Disney has, which is ABC, which is where they put the biggest games in the regular season. The fact that the semifinals aren't even on ABC is a joke. Put the game on Friday night. Everyone will watch it and put it on ABC.
People don't watch sports on Friday night though.
No.
That's why none of the great games are on Friday night and
Okay.
stuff.
Here's what here's what we do. Here's what we do.
Sunday. I think it should be Sunday.
Saturday night football. It's college football.
Okay, I'm totally for that.
College football's a Saturday sport. Put it on a Saturday.
No, but you're not going to play your biggest event of the year on a Saturday night when people go out to clubs, when people do whatever. You're not going to do that.
Pandemic.
Okay. Pandemic aside, in a normal year, but the thing you can't put or a Sunday night too. You can put it on Sunday night. The only problem is the NFL owns the weekends in January for their playoffs.
Here's my thing. Why don't you? Because usually on this weekend, you only have 4 games over the weekend?
Well, now
you have one game at noon, one game at 3, one game at 7.
No. Here's what you do. First quarter on Friday, second quarter on Saturday, third quarter on Sunday, fourth quarter on Monday. That's why everybody gets satisfied. The Friday night people can get satisfied. The Saturday people, the Monday people, they're all satisfied. One quarter each day.
Thursday night
college football, which used to be awesome. And now we get like Rice and Houston.
All right. This sounds like a time to transition into top 25.
Well, I want to, tally up our picks for the playoffs.
You've already said it. Both of us have said Bama.
No. The NFL playoffs, never didn't really transition from that.
Okay. Am I the only one that thinks Washington's going to beat the Buccaneers because Tom Brady struggled on Wild Card weekend?
Let me pull up the matchups.
I believe you will.
Let me pull up the matchups.
I believe Washington's going to win because almost every time that one of these teams sneaks into the playoffs with a bad record and everyone says, oh, they don't deserve to be in, they almost always play well.
Okay,
and the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. Let me find some NFL music real quick, and then we can do this. Let's skip the music, actually. We'll do that next week. But here we go. Bills and the Colts. Who do you guys have?
Bills.
Start with Max.
Bills.
Any explanation?
They're better.
Matt.
Walk-off field goal win by the Bills.
Wow. Bills walk-off field goal win. And I'm going to go Bills as well because I think they're making the Super Bowl.
Wow. Bold claim.
Max, we will continue in the AFC. Steelers and the Browns. The Browns have a lot of COVID. They probably shouldn't be playing this game. This game might be moved to a Tuesday night. I don't have much faith in the Brownies.
This is a tough one for me because I feel like this is a game where the Steelers will come out really unmotivated and kind of not taking them seriously type of thing. And I think they could get caught sleeping, but I'm still going to take the Steelers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say the Steelers will play down to the Browns. The Browns might look really good. They might have a lead, and then they might
I think
blow the
they're
lead.
going to get off to a hot start.
Yeah, I think in the end, Steelers by 6.
I could see this as a game where the Browns go up like double digits in the first quarter, and the Steelers
Yeah.
kind of just chip away at that all game.
Yep.
Big Ben has enough experience not being, letting down in the playoffs that he's got 2 Super Bowl rings. So
But just remember, was it the last time the Steelers made the playoffs? It was the year when they played the Jaguars and lost 45-42.
that Jags defense was really good.
The Jags defense was really good, and they gave up 42 points.
Yeah. Also, if you score 42 points, you're not playing down to your opponent. Like, it's just not. No. So I think the Steelers win. I don't think they win easily, like you guys said, but it'll be like 28-17.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last AFC matchup, and this one's probably the most intriguing. It's the Titans and the Ravens. Max.
One that I'm least bored in because you couldn't pay me to have interest in the Ravens for some reason. I'm just not interested in at all. Like Lamar Jackson's a lot of fun to watch. Other than that, I don't really care about them at all. I think Derrick Henry's
back.
I think you could make a really strong debate. Derrick Henry's the best skill position player in football. I'm taking the Titans. They're built for the playoffs.
He could, if Aaron Rodgers wasn't Aaron Rodgers this year, like that level of great, then Derrick Henry's my MVP.
Cough. That might be the team I'm picking to make the Super Bowl almost too. Chiefs are tough. That'll be a game, I think, but I think the Titans are really, poised to play in the playoffs. I think
honestly, the Steelers-Browns matchup is the only those 2 teams I feel have zero chance, and the rest of the AFC can somehow get it done. Even the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, that he can change a game. All right, Matt.
Tennessee by 10.
Why are you chewing?
Tennessee by 10.
Ah. All
Tennessee.
Right. I'm going Titans as well, even though the Ravens are technically my second favorite team after the football team. All righty, transitioning into the best conference never mind. The NFC, we've got some amazing matchups here. Really good, intriguing NFC playoff matchups. All right, we start off with the most intriguing matchup in NFL playoff history. Bears and Saints.
God, no.
This is the one. There's always a blowout. This is the one. It is Saints by 20 something, I think this isn't a game from the start.
The NFL screwed up by giving CBS this game to have Nickelodeon simulcast it. This game's going to be a joke.
Watch it. It's the only way anyone will watch it is the Nickelodeon simulcast.
Is are Nance and Romo calling this game?
On CBS, the Nickelodeon, the Nickelodeon broadcast is Noah Eagle, Nate Burleson, and a Nickelodeon personality.
Noah Eagle, not Ian.
Noah Eagle. Ian Eagle's calling the Bills game. Noah Eagle is his son and the voice of the clip. I'm gonna say Saints by 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Saints are getting.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go Saints like 40-17.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a blowout. I don't think the Saints are in for a deep playoff run, though.
I think, yeah, and I will say, I would not be totally surprised if somehow the Saints choke in this game.
Who knows?
No.
On paper, they shouldn't, but they're going to choke one of the games, and I mean, well, typically their season ends with some.
They're a divisional round team like every year.
The only way I think they can lose this game is if Sean Payton gets too cute with it, which is very possible. But what he should do is just hand the ball to Kamara or throw the ball to Kamara. Just don't mess around with it.
Also, Michael
Kamara
Thomas is back. Michael Thomas is back. Get him the ball.
Oh, you mean the most overrated player in football?
It's you're not wrong.
Everything.
But Sean Payton, one of the best coaches in the NFL, but he out coaches himself. He has so much like genius there, but like he lets it get the best of him.
Look,
And
the
it's
same
like, you know what, this gadget player is cool. So Taysom Hill, we're gonna do all this different stuff. And why is it 24-21? Why are we losing? What's going on?
The Saints' last 3 seasons ended in the Minneapolis Miracle, the Nickel Roby Coleman no PI call.
You mean
that
the
went
Brees
up
interception
to
in overtime?
a goal in overtime, and then losing to the Vikings in overtime last year.
Yeah, so you mean the Roby Coleman play? You mean the Drew Brees interception in
It was
overtime?
a bad interception too. Nobody talks about how that might be Brees' worst throw of his career.
Yeah,
because everybody just wants to blame the refs because instead of just blaming the fact that you're just sore losers.
Fans, MO. Now let's go to the other games.
Seahawks and Rams. Max, your team. You got to pick your team. Come on.
I'm not going to. I'm picking the Seahawks in a grinder. It's a defensive matchup, 16-14. Really close game. This game is never bad. No team will ever have more than a 4-point lead in this game.
16-14. What Max hopes every single one of these playoff games will end up as.
I will piggyback off of that. However, I think that it's going to be like a 12-point game thanks to a garbage time touchdown by the Seahawks.
The Rams don't give up those. The Rams don't give up touchdowns, really.
You said Seahawks,
how about when they met 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, there was a garbage time touchdown there. That was also because Goff threw a really bad interception there at the end too.
Yeah, but Goff didn't have a functioning thumb, so.
True.
So you said Seahawks, Matt?
Yes, Seahawks by 12.
Seahawks. All righty. And then for me, I'd like to pick the Rams for some reason. I don't know. I don't know why I would like to pick the Rams. I'm not going to, because if anybody's going to have a lot of success against Aaron Donald, it's going to be Russell Wilson because he runs around.
Ask that to Russell Wilson over his career. Because no team has owned Russell Wilson more than the Rams over his career.
But still, I Jamal Adams, I just don't like this Rams team. I'm sorry, especially if Wolford's back there.
Fair. I guess you don't like a team with the best defense in the NFL. I guess that's just fair.
But
he doesn't like a team that lost to the Jets at home.
Yeah, that's a good. I don't know. I gotta go.
I will say this: the only way the Rams lose any games, really, frankly, is if Goff plays bad. And so if he goes out and plays well, they're going to win. I mean, they're probably going to win by double digits, I'd say. But if he plays, even below average, the Rams have no chance. And that's the problem with the Rams.
Football team and the Buccaneers. And Max, I will start with you.
I'm going to take the football team in a 10-point game. I think they're going to really come out and just shock the world. I think 27-17, maybe.
Matt?
Washington by 7.
Okay, so here's my thing. I love this team. This has been one of the most fun teams to root for as a Washington fan my entire life.
Not really a high standard.
Not very high standards, but still, these guys were cool. I like Chase Young. I like Ron Rivera.
Alex Smith's been an awesome season, or awesome story too.
The Alex Smith thing is a great story.
And not in that cliche BS. Oh, it's a great story. This actually is a great story.
Yes, it is a very, very good story. However, Mr. Chase Young did something after the game on Sunday that is very concerning to me, because Tom Brady is like Michael Jordan. You don't poke the bear.
Then did you hear Chase Young today where he was like, "Oh, I can't wait to play against the greatest player of all time. I can't wait."
But he also said he doesn't take back those words. You don't. It's like Michael Jordan. It's like Tom Brady creates these, false motivation things that cause him to just go out there and just wow you when he's shouldn't at 43 years old. If you've looked at his numbers, he was insane for for his age.
I'm gonna make up my own rule here and say that I'm going to have, if there's a game that I will mulligan on the initial pick, it's this one, and the alternate.
You cannot change them. Here's a rule. You can't change the pick challenge. You can't change this rule.
I go by my own rules, and I'm saying that this game will either be Washington by 7 or Tampa by 35.
I don't think that will happen.
I agree with that. I agree 100%.
There's no in between. There is absolutely.
This could be 28-0 at half. I have no idea.
I think that Chase Young poked the bear. That's what I think happened. And I don't think he meant to poke the bear because it was just a hot mic that they caught.
I also think the Buccaneers have a good defense.
But also, I guess when you're running off the field screaming, "We want Brady," then I guess you don't really care who hears that. So yeah, he poked the bear. But enough of that. I want to hear what Max ranks these top 25. This is the only place in the country where you're getting a top 25 the weekend before the national championship game.
It was really tough too, because I frankly had to remember which teams won and lost their bowl games.
Yeah, how many bowl games did you watch? Because I don't think I watched any of them.
I probably watched portions of probably almost all of them. I only watched probably 5 or 6 in total. Like,
you watched the Duke's Mayo Bowl, obviously.
Yes, I watched the Duke's Mayo Bowl. I watched all the New Year's 6 games. I watched a lot of the Indiana games.
I watched the Fiesta and the Orange Bowl. That's really it.
I was at the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, I know. That was awesome.
I know.
It was a good game.
I just want to see what they gave me, by the way.
Yes, swag.
I got this pin. It's a 50th anniversary, commemorative, pen, and I love it. This could be worth some money one day because number one, it's the 50th anniversary of the Fiesta Bowl, which is, an iconic bowl game with so many great moments over the years. And then also not cool about it, but, just, I guess, interesting is that it's during the pandemic. So it'll be remembered as the lowest attended Fiesta Bowl ever. There was 1,600 friends and family there. So it was that, hey, I'm going to give it to the Fiesta Bowl. Arizona would have allowed probably 5,000 fans at least in that stadium. And they chose not to. And a lot of the other bowls had way too many people at these New Year's 6 bowls. So I'm going to give Arizona props for not, doing
Did they give you a commemorative mask?
No, they did not. I wish though. We also got these little we got these patches that you can sew on something.
Oh, nice.
PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Max,
your
top 25. Number 25.
I just want to preface this by saying 25 through 19, all very deeply flawed teams. This is really not a deep season. So my number 25 is the Miami Hurricanes.
You.
Yeah, it's not a great list here.
Yeah.
Number 24.
The Wisconsin Badgers.
On Wisconsin.
No.
Number 23.
The Tulsa Golden Hurricanes.
Phil's alma mater.
That was the one they lost their bowl game to Mississippi State and got into a fight.
Correct.
Yeah, he lost to a 3-7 Mississippi State.
Yeah, really rough.
Still has them in his top 25.
Yeah.
Number 22.
Tell me another team that should be in it. Kentucky Wildcats.
Ugh.
Did they win their bowl game?
Yes, they beat NC State. They beat a ranked team.
Yeah, for some reason that was on the same day as. Why was that a January 2nd bowl? That's a conversation for another.
Because there's always a bowl that they put on the day after, just for people that are still into it, kind of.
21.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Bedlam.
Did they win?
Yes, they beat Miami.
Okay.
Number 20.
The USC Trojans.
Yikes.
They didn't play.
Right on though.
Yeah,
Number 19.
The Oregon Ducks.
Go Ducks.
They struggled.
Cristobal lost my respect. Number 9. Where were we at?
18.
18.
We're finally getting into real teams here. The Texas Longhorns.
Steve
Welcome. Number 17.
Did lose their bowl, but still had an impressive season. Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
Chanticleers.
Yeah, the way they was so. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
Oh, Liberty's a good team. Number 16.
Louisiana Raging Cajun.
Lafayette.
They won, correct?
I believe so.
You realize when you look up their
I
website,
don't know if they played. Oh, yes, they won. They beat UTSA.
I think they were like the first bowl game.
Yeah, they beat UTSA.
there are multiple reasons, by the way, why I still call them Louisiana Lafayette. Number one, if you look up their website, Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah, I know, but they're called Louisiana by all these teams. Are you calling Brigham Young University that?
No,
That's what it says on their website.
No, because this is why. Because there's also Louisiana Monroe. So if you just want to go by Louisiana, like why does Louisiana Lafayette get it over Louisiana Monroe? Like who makes that rule? Number 15.
Nope. Oh yes, 15. Correct.
Yeah.
They blew it in their bowl game again, but good season. The Indiana Hoosiers.
I don't know their little like.
I was mad they didn't make a New Year's Six bowl.
I was too.
They didn't
haven't proved they shouldn't have.
Number 14, the Fighting Tom Allens. There we go.
The Florida Gators got absolutely embarrassed. I know that they didn't have most of their team, but they just got embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's a low ranking though. Number 13.
I have no sympathy for teams that don't try in their bowl games. Number 13, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Didn't play a bowl, but
they didn't play? Oh yeah, their game got canceled.
Yeah.
Number 12.
The North Carolina Tar Heels.
Again, Indiana should have been in a bowl game over North Carolina.
No, they should have been in a bowl game over a team that's going to be up in a couple spots, but they impressed me enough in the bowl game. Number 11, the BYU Cougars.
They won a midweek before Christmas bowl game.
Yeah, because Zach Wilson was just insane.
Yeah. That might have been the best performance other than Justin Fields, who had a broken rib and was insane. Number 10.
The Northwestern Wildcats.
Such a Big Ten bias there.
Why? They have possibly a top 3
Auburn,
defense
right?
in the
They should have been in
college football.
Six bowl too.
Yeah, I agree.
Number 9.
The Iowa State Cyclones.
I saw them play. Brock Purdy is really good. Breece Hall is really good. That team next year could make a surprise run at the playoff.
I hope they do.
Other than Oklahoma, I don't see a threat in that conference for them.
I agree.
Has Kolar decided what he's doing?
Who?
Their tight end. He's really good.
I'm not sure.
He had like 43 catches and 9 touchdowns this year. Number 8.
Yep. The Oklahoma Sooners.
Spencer Rattler probably will win a Heisman. Number 7.
Cincinnati Bearcats.
Looked very good against Georgia.
Yep.
Number 6.
Speaking of, the University of Georgia.
Go Dogs. Number 5.
Texas A&M Aggies.
Gig 'em.
Looked really good.
By the way, we need to
They
talk
looked
about
really good against the North Carolina team that was missing 3 of their 4 best
we
players.
need to talk about the hilarious news today of Kellen Mond declaring for the draft.
Why? It's not like he's going to improve his draft stock at any point. Why wouldn't he? It's not like next year he's going to come out and be the number 1 pick. He's been the starter for like 3 years there. He's not going to get better.
He'll be a backup somewhere.
No,
Yeah,
there's
he'll get
something
drafted.
about big time senior year leap. Like the senior year leap is a thing.
Yeah, but it's usually a thing when the player didn't play for 3 years prior to that. It's you very rarely see a 3-year starter all of a sudden be great. You very rarely see that.
I think it kind of was a thing with Jalen Hurts.
No, he was the SEC Player of the Year.
Yeah.
But like
And Big 12 Player of the Year.
but he really came into his own as a passer last year and showed that
He won a national championship as a freshman.
But they benched him
He had
because
like 35 touchdowns that season.
but they benched him because Tua was the better arm.
Because he was. That's not saying a lot. I mean, Tua's a better arm than a lot of players.
Yeah, but like, never mind. Number 4.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Max, I think Hurts was a sophomore when they won the championship. When they benched him,
You're correct.
The freshman year
You're
was
correct.
when they lost to Clemson with Deshaun Watson and
Yeah,
Renfro. So,
which,
yeah.
by the way, Hurts might have outplayed Watson in that game. By the way, it's a hot take that not many people talk about.
Yeah.
Watson was better than Trevor Lawrence in college.
Also, if I'm remembering correctly, our freshman year, Max, it was Jake Coker who was the quarterback for Alabama.
Yep.
What does he do now? Put it on the poll. Can someone find Jake Coker?
He's gonna start like calling like SEC network games between Vanderbilt and Kentucky in a couple of years, I bet.
Yeah, and it'll be post-pandemic, but he'll still be calling it from his basement.
Yeah.
What was the poll again, Matt?
Can someone find Jake Coker?
I like that. I like, can someone find yes or no?
Yeah. So he's retired now because
Did he get a training camp tryout or like a mini camp thing?
Yeah,
he went undrafted. Free agent deal with the Cardinals was released right after training camp in 2016, and then 2017 he retired after he was unable to fully recover from knee surgery. Yeah.
Right. Number 3. Stop
Yeah, number 3. There you go.
The Clemson Tigers.
You know, the Notre Dame thing, like, they would get demolished by Florida. Number 3.
The Clemson, yeah.
Or number 2, I'm sorry, number 2.
2 Ohio State Buckeyes.
The Ohio State University.
OHIO. All right, Alabama.
Yep.
Yeah.
There we go.
Heisman Award winner wide receiver Devontae Smith, who beat out the guy who throws him the ball, Mac Jones.
Yep, the correct winner.
Draft picks and national champions.
Also, Trevor Lawrence isn't ready. He's going to be a bust. He should have come back to school. That's an actual. I know. I will go to his. I can't say I will go to my grave with that take because it makes no sense. But I will say I will go to the start of the season with that take. He's not ready.
Especially if it's the 99% possibility that he's the Jaguars quarterback. The Jaguars never have quarterbacks that pan out. So
Mark Brunell was very good.
Yeah, but then he wound up with
also was very good. And we can't forget that Blake Bortles went to the AFC Championship game. And
on the back of that defense.
Although third string for the Rams again, by the way.
Yeah.
He's always on the Rams. Yeah, but you know, I just something about Trevor Lawrence. He doesn't have that it factor. Deshaun Watson, I'm like, man, that guy has that it factor. He's going to win something in the NFL. He hasn't won much yet, but just give him time. I think
he won a playoff game against the Bills.
I think there are certain players that have that it factor, and there's certain players that not. Trevor Lawrence might have a great regular season career, but he might be the next Dan Marino. He might just never win a Super Bowl. I just don't see him. I don't know. The hair is fine. The mustache is terrible. That reporter that got caught on a hot mic, she was 100% correct. The combination of the hair and the mustache makes him look like a damn fool. He does not look like a starting quarterback. Let me tell you that right now. It's such a bad mustache. It's so patchy. It's so small. It's just Trevor Lawrence, get out of here. Go win a national championship. Not as a freshman. Do it by yourself. Do it without the help of those guys from your freshman year team. Do it without Renfro.
So what's next?
No comments on that. We're just gonna move on.
What's next? Yeah.
I had some other plans, but let's just go to movies with Max and see where we are after that.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment. Well, kind of.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while.
You could miss it.
There are no two words in the English language more harmful than good job. It always have Paris.
Here's Movies with Max.
Hi guys.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good, because we are in the middle of awards season. The pandemic cannot stop awards season, and I have
Except
got
for- Except the
What?
Grammy.
except for the Grammys. You are correct, but I have got a whole slew of them. I don't know why you made me the co-host.
Because if you, in case you need to share your screen, I didn't know if you.
I do not need to today. That's next week.
Next week, all right, that works. Whatever works for whatever works.
I was originally gonna announce my nominations for the Max Awards today, but I have seen a lot of movies since our last show that I feel need to be reviewed.
Check out our last show, by the way, where Max unveils his 2 categories of TV nominations. He doesn't watch very much TV, but he had a couple shows that he wanted to highlight. But yeah, that's on our last show. Very good show. We do a holiday song, Mount Rushmore. So yeah, listen to that. But Max, go back.
I need to get my glasses because I had to list all of these because I was afraid I'd forget one. All right, so we're just gonna go off in order of when I watched them. So okay, The Prom, which is on Netflix. It's a musical that just came out. It has some decent songs. It has 2 young stars that are very, very solid in their lead roles in the center of it. But this has Meryl Streep and Nicole Kidman in it, and they're 2 of the best actresses in the world, and they are both not good in this movie at all. I never thought I'd say that about either of them. This is just a really, really bad movie. There's no 2 ways around it. I give it a D.
Thank God I haven't watched it yet. I won't watch it. Thank you.
Which movie is this? I was making it.
The Prom.
Also, was James Corden good or no?
I think he's fine. I have a higher tolerance for James Corden than some do.
Oh, is that the movie with Vince Vaughn?
No.
No.
Okay, so next, a movie you should be watching on Netflix, especially Jesse, because I think you'd really dig it, is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. This stars Viola Davis, Chadwick Boseman. It's about the Harlem Renaissance and recording songs in that time and such. It's a play adaptation. I'm usually not a big fan of those because they don't feel very cinematic. I thought this one was pretty good. It's pretty short, never really loses its steam. It keeps going. Some of the best performances of the year. Never had me bored. Really solid outing overall for this young director. And it's worth watching for Chadwick Boseman alone. I think this is one of the best performances of the year from Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman, awesome. Rest in peace. Viola Davis, overrated.
Yeah.
We're just gonna move past that. You clearly haven't seen Fences.
But I've watched most of How to Get Away with Murder. Most overrated show ever. It's not.
Yeah. By the way, do you ever realize How to Get Away with Murder after watching that show?
No, that's probably a goal by the people that are running that show, because you probably don't want to learn how to get there. There's probably not a network show probably does not want to show people how to get away with murder. But yes, I don't actually, honestly, most people's performances, it might just be the directors and producers of that show, but I think it's an overrated show, and I think she's overrated.
All right. Anyway, I give that movie a B.
Okay.
Next, The Invisible Man, a movie that was like probably the last big release before COVID hit. It's the most profitable movie of the year. And a lot of people really loved it. I didn't. I think it's the movie that I disagree with people on the most. I thought it was okay. Elizabeth Moss, who's in the show you are watching right now, Handmaid's Tale.
A Scientologist, which is weird that she's in The Handmaid's Tale.
I agree.
Keep going.
I think she's good. I think the visuals are pretty good, but it's very boring. It has very little energy at all. I give it a C-.
You know, she might also be a little bit overrated because there's not much that she does in The Handmaid's Tale. Like, she doesn't talk that much.
All right, so now on to Wonder Woman 1984, the big Christmas Day release. I watched this on Christmas Day. It was very fun. The original movie is one of the best comic book movies of all time. This is a kind of disappointing mess of a movie. It's not as bad as some people say it is. It's definitely not very good, though. The performances are really nice. Gal Gadot is great at playing Wonder Woman. I think she's a pretty limited actress generally, but I think she's good in this role. But Patty Jenkins has a chance to redeem herself. She got greenlit for Wonder Woman 3. She's a great writer-director, so I hope she finds her place again. But this one, I give a C.
Is Chris Evans in that movie?
No, Chris Pine is, and Chris Pine is better.
Does Chris Pine play a Marvel character as well?
Nope.
No, okay. Chris Pine's the one from Hell or High Water, correct?
Correct. He's a great actor. He's
He's a very good actor. By the way, if you haven't seen Hell or High Water, it is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Fantastic movie.
Watch it. Jeff Bridges is also in that movie, and anything Jeff Bridges is.
And Ben Foster should have been nominated for an Oscar for that movie too.
Was he the brother?
He's the brother. Yes, he's fantastic. Next, Soul, which also came out on Christmas. It's the new Pixar movie. I think it's Pixar's most mature movie. I really don't know if I'd consider showing this to somebody under like the age of 12 or 13. I don't know if they'd really grasp it, get it kind of.
Really?
It's a very mature movie. It's about appreciating life. It's about kind of depression. It's about, issues with your job, issues with not reaching your dreams. It's about a lot of like really mature stuff.
So was that movie, what's the movie that I'm blanking on it with all like the personality traits?
That's Inside Out. That's a little bit more.
That's his favorite movie of all time.
Hmm?
That's Max's favorite movie of all time.
Yep. It's
yes,
definitely,
we know this, correct.
But this
should have won Best Picture.
Yes. This is more mature. I think it was my first true A+ movie of the year. I thought this is one of their best movies. I think it's one of their top.
I need to interrupt. I'm sorry, but Desert Financial Arena for tonight's game, Bill Walton on the call. I don't know if you guys can see this, but yeah, there we go. Every cutout has been plastered with.
Oh crap! What network is it on?
ESPN2 or ESPN, I don't know, but it's
yeah, oh nice.
Starts in 23 minutes. I'm very excited. Let's keep going. Max, you had more.
Number 6, Uncorked. It's a movie on Netflix. My dad's a big fan of this movie. It came out this year, so I decided to watch it with him. It's a movie
last year,
or whatever, 2020.
We're still. I consider that we're still in 2020 until the Super Bowl. So,
yeah. This is a good, solid movie. It's about life in inner city Memphis. It's about contrasting that with like kind of the high class wine culture in the city. It's a movie about race and class, and I think it's a really, really interesting movie with some great performances. I give it a solid B. The Midnight Sky, which is also on Netflix. It's just a common theme. It's a George Clooney written, directed, and acted in movie. I really usually like George Clooney, but this is really not a very good movie. It's very dry, very boring, and it's nothing you haven't seen before. I give it a D.
Damn, we're in a tight spot. Keep going.
The next is The Assistant. I got that reference. The Assistant. Maybe the most mundane movie ever made. Most of the movie is incredible cinematography, capturing absolutely nothing happening. But the slow burn pays off in the end with an incredibly uncomfortable conclusion. Probably one of the most inaccessible movies. I don't know if I could possibly recommend this movie to anybody, because when I say nothing happens, really nothing happens. But I really liked it. I give it an A-. The Sound of Metal. This is a movie about a rock drummer that loses his hearing almost completely. And he kind of has to deal with now he can't live his normal life. He can't live his career. He can't do really anything. And he's a former drug addict as well. He's got a lot of things going on in his life. And it's one of the best performances of the year from Riz Ahmed. It is from the director of The Place Beyond the Pines. It's not from him. He originally came up with the story. It is from his co-writer on Place Beyond the Pines, who made this. And this movie feels very much like Place Beyond the Pines.
Place Beyond the Pines, one of the best movies of all time.
It feels very much like it. It's very much in the same style, has very much the same tone. The visuals look very similar. This is a great movie. The lead performance is very, very reminiscent, I believe, of Ryan Gosling's performance in Place Beyond the Pines.
Place Beyond the Pines, again, one of my 4 favorite films, along with The Rookie, Napoleon Dynamite, and Oh Brother Where Art Thou. Two of those movies very critically acclaimed. 2 of those movies not very critically acclaimed, but very good. Keep going.
Which 2 weren't very critically acclaimed?
Napoleon Dynamite and
Napoleon Dynamite got really good reviews. That was a festival.
The Rookie got good reviews too. Like it's Rotten Tomato scores like 80 something.
Yeah, Napoleon Dynamite was like a festival hit. Anyway,
I like The Rookie.
I thought The Rookie was good too.
Yeah. Dennis Quaid, very underrated.
Yes.
Should play the Joker in a movie.
I don't know about that. But
look at his smile.
Anyway, next, Wolfwalkers, which is on. And Sound of Metal, by the way, solid A. It's a really good movie.
Doesn't hand those out very much.
Wolfwalkers. This is a animated film on Apple TV Plus. It's kind of the big competitor to Soul this year and the best animated feature film category. It's got great animation, great music, but the story is just kind of fine. It's not super entertaining, just a solid film. I give it a B-. Then finally, Promising Young Woman, which is not available yet on streaming, is coming to streaming in 5 days. But it is a great movie. It's an incredibly daring and incredibly smart script, brilliantly put together and carried by incredible performances from Carey Mulligan and Bo Burnham. Bo Burnham gives one of the best performances of the year. That is not a joke. He gives one of the best performances of the year.
Really?
He really makes this movie, in my opinion, work.
Comedian.
He's a
YouTube comedian.
But he's a YouTube comedian who's like an independent movies like big huge guy now. He wrote and directed 8th Grade, which is a great movie that came out a couple years ago on the indie scene. He's incredible in this movie. He sells it. I bet you will not predict this movie. That is what I'll say about it. I give it an A-.
So is the Tom Hanks movie not out yet, or is it just one you haven't seen yet? I know you can't imagine anybody Tom Hanks is anything other than Tom Hanks, but it does look very good, and it looks like it's well received. So
yeah, I've heard pretty good things about that movie. I'm not a huge Paul Greengrass fan. He's the writer director. He's kind of one of those directors that was like really hot in the late 90s and stuff. He did some of the Bourne movies and stuff. He's kind of fizzled out a little bit. But I'll be interested. It comes to streaming soon, I believe. It's still in theaters playing.
Does it count for this year's awards or whatever? Did you go to the movies this week, by the way?
I did. I saw Promising Young Woman in the theater.
What time of day and how was it?
I saw it on noon on Tuesday, I believe. There was one other person in my theater. I probably never came within 20 feet of anybody. I thought Harkins. I went to Harkins Fashion Square. I thought they did a pretty good job there. So
I consider that.
I'd only go at certain times. I definitely wouldn't be going like on a Friday night or on a Saturday night, but that's kind of my rule for everything at this point. So
you get popcorn?
No, I did not. I got nothing. I didn't get any concessions.
They have the best.
Probably the first time I've ever been to a movie without even getting like a drink or something.
They have the best popcorn ever.
They do. I just ordered some from Grubhub. You can order popcorn from Grubhub from there. So I just ordered some.
I'm literally gonna do that tonight.
Yeah, you can. You can order a Grubhub Harkins popcorn.
I'm literally
like this huge bag. It's like this big. It's like only like $14 for like a massive bag.
That's insane. I'm totally gonna do that. All right, is that all, Max?
That is all.
All right. Movies with Matt. Documentaries with Matt.
Play the theme song.
Well, I'm trying to get out of here in 15 minutes because of the ASU game.
Okay. All right. So here we go.
I'll play it. I'll play it.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment. Well, kind of.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
There are no two words in the English language more harmful than good job. It always have past.
Here's Movies with
Matt.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
All right. So I will say my parents watched Wonder Woman 1984. I did not. My dad liked it. They watched it on HBO Max when it came out on Christmas Day. I was able to set up a
movie that parents are like, "Oh, it was a nice movie."
That's what both my parents thought.
My dad really liked the original. My dad really liked the Wonder Woman that came out a few years ago, and
fantastic movie.
I'm not going to spoil the wee ending of it for our audience who might not have seen Wonder Woman 1984. But regardless, it gets another thing on HBO Max. The Bee Gees, How Can You Mend a Broken Heart? Now, I watched this one with my mom when I was home for a few days. So, writing an essay about a documentary sounds and feels as academic as they come. But hey, if something is nearly 2 hours long, I consider it a movie. The Bee Gees have an interesting story. They were big for being mellow pop artists. Then they were placed into the place that no musical acts want to find themselves in, the has-been purgatory. Now, I wrote this into the script, put this on the poll. Do all musical acts find themselves as has-beens? But then they were able to adapt to the times in a way and be the leaders of a whole genre of music, disco. They had big hits like Jive Talkin' and Nights on Broadway, and then they had their career peak, Saturday Night Fever, the movie, starring John Travolta, which they kind of wrote the soundtrack to, and it featured the smash hits More Than a Woman, Night Fever, and Staying Alive, which, if you were to watch this documentary, you will find out the lyrical meaning of Staying Alive, which is pretty interesting. But their career pretty much returned to the has-been purgatory thanks to one night in 1979. I'm talking about Disco Demolition Night. I learned about about Disco Demolition Night for the first time about 10 years ago during a SportsCenter feature segment. Due to the sheer
every year, it's literally the same story every year.
It's so good though. It's
a great
so
story.
good.
And Bill Veck or whatever that guy's name is.
It was Bill Veck's son who was running.
It was fascinating, and I can't believe they didn't do a 30 for 30 on this guy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, due to the sheer insanity that disco turned into during the 70s, people started to hate it, and one rock DJ in Chicago decided to partner with the White Sox of all teams, who were drawing like 2,000 people a game to, I guess it was Comiskey Park at the time.
Hold on real quick. Alex Coyle did not know that Dana Bash and John King used to be married.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that either.
Yes, they did.
So,
I barely know who those people are.
They're seeing people. Yeah, you're talking to Max, who got to see Kornacki earlier this week. Anyway, back to the Bee Gees documentary. So due to the sheer insanity that disco turned into in the 70s, people started to hate it. One rock DJ in Chicago decided to partner with the White Sox to hold a demolition of disco records between games of a doubleheader. People literally just, if you brought a disco record or two, you pay $1 to get into the stadium. It was a doubleheader. They did the demolition in the middle of the games. Search for the SportsCenter segment or watch the documentary to find out what happens, because this quite simply is the most insane promotion at a sporting event ever. And that actually changed the world, because disco became relevant again after that, and the Bee Gees became has-beens again. And that is Movies with Matt.
I changed the poll to do all musical artists find themselves in has-been purgatory?
Yeah, that's yeah. Which, I mean, it's the same thing, and quite frankly, all artists actually are has-beens at some
And they
point.
end up as a backing track of an AT&T commercial,
or they wind up, and again, this is pre-pandemic, playing shows at every casino around the country.
100%, or this 5,000 seats theater in your downtown.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think we should skip the "What Are We Doing" segment, honestly, because I think we all have the same "What Are We Doing," which is
Can we just say America? What are we doing?
Yeah, the people yesterday that stormed the.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
That was awful.
But can we talk about The Bachelor?
But I want to play the sound real quick.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
There you go. All right. Yes. Bachelor. I didn't write a recap about this because Valerie would do it, but she turned me down for $18 on Instacart.
I will give you a brief synopsis. This guy is a really good guy. He has never been in love. He is a real estate broker and nonprofit founder.
Former Wake Forest wide receiver.
Yes, former Wake Forest wide receiver. He grew up in North Carolina, now lives in New York City. Very successful, handsome-looking man who's jacked. And when I say jacked, I mean he's jacked.
Yes, he's got a lot more muscles than Pilot Pete.
Yes. And there were 32 women, and they whittled it down to 24. There's really only a few that stood out to me. I forget her name, but she brought in a sex toy a bit much. Yeah, showed it to him right at their entrance, and then brought it into the house. The rest of the girls kind of liked it, except the girl that she poked with it to get some time from.
Yeah, that was weird.
Then there's evil Victoria, who is a queen.
Queen Victoria, she calls herself that. Yeah.
Well, no, she has a tiara. Her job title is a queen, which could mean she's unemployed, could mean she's a professional queen. And she is the most evil person in the house. Now, because I felt that, again, there were 32 women, I felt the best woman was the one who got the first impression rose, and that's Abigail, who has hearing loss, and she she must have a hearing aid of some sort.
Okay, so she is deaf, like 100% deaf, but she has cochlear implants.
She has cochlear implants, so she can hear.
Yes.
Technically, so by the power of technology, she can hear, and she right there at the top. She's from Oregon. She is very pretty. One of my coworkers, she said she not only is very pretty, but also looks like she has the least amount, if any amount, of plastic surgery of the women in this group. She is just so genuinely nice. She got the first impression rose, and I'm locking her in right now, my top 4 for the end of the season. Now, I would like you to show Sarah as well, because I thought this was a cool story. So go down, find Sarah, Jesse.
Sarah is.
Yeah, might be the next page, because they are usually, or it might be one page. Yeah, next page.
There's not. Oh yeah, there. Okay, no, it moves.
Sarah,
right
24
here.
years old. Yeah, so
broadcast journalist.
The job title of broadcast journalist. So she was a reporter in Palm Springs, California, but her father was diagnosed with ALS. She stepped back from her job and was caretaken for her father before going on this show. And she seems really genuine. I'm not gonna say she's a top 4 person, because the queen from LA, as you see, Victoria, there's one promo basically saying that that Victoria would do very inappropriate things to Matt, because if he sent Sarah home. So
she looks kind of like the kind of person that would say her job is queen.
Yeah,
she definitely looks like that kind of person.
Okay, so Amber right here, she was my favorite, and he sent her home.
Yeah.
But I will go through the list of people that I'm gonna actually do one of these command or search, whatever.
By the way, I'm not gonna, as much as you love my looks likes, I'm not doing them this year for
That's fine.
for these contestants. However, if there's another listen to your heart, or you know what, I'm gonna save it for Bachelor in Paradise, because I've never watched Bachelor in Paradise, and I'm really hoping they do it this summer, because I'm really looking forward to watching it.
Okay, so Abigail made it.
Yes.
Bree made it. Bree, she's here. She's got a good.
Yep. Bree was the first one to get a rose in the ceremony. I started writing them down, but then they went too fast. Rachel
has a really good chance. She's cool.
Right now, the 4, because just based off of the fact that Abigail got the first impression, and then these 3 got the first 3 roses. Bree, Rachel, and Chelsea.
Chelsea had a very, they walk the line on these shows of being objectifying, and Chelsea had a very revealing dress, and Matt James was just like checking her out like the whole way she walked up the stairs. So and was like, man, she's showing it. Like I was just like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go read off the rest of them that I wrote down once they start getting too fast.
I wrote down everybody too.
Yeah, so Sarah, MJ's cute. I like the curly
here.
Serena B, or Serena C, I guess. There's 2 Serenas.
Both of these Serenas made it, right?
Both of them made it. Serena C's the one in the promo where she literally was saying "yum" about Matt, so which
Yeah.
I thought was weird. Kayla, Kristen, and Kit were the next three.
Kayla's
That's
very pretty. That's Kayla right here.
Kayla. Kristen looks good. Kit's only 21, has a famous fashion designer mom.
Kristen and Kit. Yeah, Kit's young and she's already been shown in promos that she's gonna
Yeah.
stir drama. That's what the youngest contestants always do.
The,
You
the
saw that in
last
the Bachelorette.
the last three that I wrote down, Maddie,
You mean Maggie or Maddie or Maggie?
Maggie, I guess.
Maggie, yep, this is cool. She's from Ethiopia, which
Ethiopia.
they rarely have foreign
Yeah.
contestants, which I think is cool.
Piper was the next one I wrote down, and then is it Lori or Lauren?
I don't know.
Piper
Piper's not showing up here, but there was.
No. It's because it's a Pieper.
Oh yeah, she's right here.
Yeah, and then Lauren, I guess, was the last one. Again, there were so many. They started going.
I had Aliana. I wrote all these down. So or maybe
Alana was a photographer. Alicia got sent home. Now, Alicia was the first vignette they did at the start of the show, and you honestly thought that she had a good enough personality that she would make it, but she did not make it.
Alana made it. I don't know where this Aliana girl is, so we'll just move on there. I can't find her, but
8 of them went home, and there will be more women coming. So
Yesenia made it right here. Or Jessenia, I think it's Yesenia though. Marilyn made it. This is Marilyn. We got Serena C, which we already showed. I think we already showed Lauren as well. There's Lauren.
Yeah.
Sydney made it. Sydney is right here. We got Alana. We already showed her. Katie, who I don't know where she is. Oh yeah, she's right here.
She's good.
I think she had they talked about her.
Yeah, Katie was good.
Where's Anna? Anna's cool. I kind of liked her.
Yeah.
And then Queen Victoria made it. So yeah, that was your Bachelor talk for this week.
This season does not look like it's going to end. I mean, it could end like Peter's season did. Who knows? They really were showing in their teases Matt getting emotional, which will be interesting to see whether, I guess, the girls break his heart, or I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, but there will be new girls, as well as a girl from 2 seasons ago that is coming to stir the pot. So,
alrighty, Max, why don't you watch The Bachelor and The Bachelor? I feel like it's right up your alley.
I don't watch much TV.
You do watch.
You watch Big Brother.
Big Brother,
and that's taking up all my time right now. So.
And Survivor too.
Yeah, you watch these are 2 reality shows that he used to be big into The Masked Singer.
Yeah, and then The Masked Singer had Dr. Drew as one of its celebrities, and I was like, "Yep, I'm done." I don't think I've watched it since then. Really, I watch the performances and stuff, but I don't watch the full show.
Well,
I fell into The Masked Dancer. It's kind of good. The first person that got knocked off was Ice-T, and he did not try as his character. Last night's had a really good group, and it was Bill Nye the Science Guy who got knocked off.
Love it.
And Bill Nye admitted he loves to dance, and he was kind of good.
That might be one of the bigger stars to ever have been on either of those shows.
I remember the worst reality show of all time, Ice Loves Coco. It was about Ice-T and his wife. And the problem with Ice-T and his wife is they were very drama-free. So it wasn't much there. It was just oh, they're a nice couple. They really love each other. That's great.
Also, something I have to finish watching. It's a revived game show, Name That Tune. I started watching it last night. I recorded it. I was getting all of the answers correctly before the contestants buzzed in. Because it's such an easy show. You just hear the instrumentals of a song or a part of a song, and you just know it and you just say go. So
All right, so I got some polls. I got some polls from the
The
previous.
Bachelor.
Is Jeremy the most annoying person of all time? Yes, 40%, 30% no, and 40% me, 47% me. I think he's extremely way more annoying than me. Do you have some explaining to do if you don't call the national championship the Natty? You have to say it, the Natty. It's also a little douchey, but whatever. 60% yes. Should Evan be the GM of the Cowboys instead of Jerry? 75% yes. Did Chris Harrison realize he was shooting The Bachelor, not The Bachelorette? 56% no, because Chris Harrison tweeted out earlier in the day on Monday, get ready for tonight's premiere of The Bachelorette. What would Matt James rather be doing right now? Being The Bachelor or playing for the Rams like his college quarterback, John Wolford? 85% Rams.
He'd get more exposure on The Bachelor, and he's getting more.
But he would be playing sports still. Is she totally like chill about it? 50-50, never happened before. Is Chris Harrison just standing in front of a green screen? 67% yes. It looks like he was.
No.
I know he's not, but it looked like he was. Is the location for the Bachelor haunted?
Yes, because it's in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania.
It looks like a mansion that was like, it looks like The Shining. Like, it feels like The Shining to me. Did the box actually have pizza in it? 82% no. I would be very frustrated if I got an empty box that said pizza. Matt. Everybody does that at some point. And I said, and then they all go, woo! And then, so 71% woo and 29% John Wolford. Is Mallory cheating in Bachelor Fantasy? I'll have an update on Bachelor Fantasy next week. 83% reality Steve's fault.
We need to launch a full investigation into why she's.
Really do. Where is the formula? 42% Central Connecticut State, 29% Alex equals Greg Cody, and 29% not enough games yet, which is ridiculous because most teams have played like 5 games at least. Do you eat Pringles for breakfast? 57% no. Could someone find Jake Coker? 50-50 never happened before. Is it on Netflix? 67% yes. Do all musical artists find themselves in has-been purgatory? 100% yes. And that will do it for this edition of the Why So Serious show. I really appreciate Max and Matt here for caring about something that they don't have to care about. And watch us next week. Good night, Canada.